I am aware that this video might be controversial for many of their her him wait. Let me check real quick. Yes, there it is. Prefers him or her? I guess I'ma just go with her then. Excuse me. Where was I? Yes. I am aware that this video might be controversial for many of her fans. After all, she's loved by the world. But the truth about her is something sinister. BloodyStar is not a good person. And in this video, I am going to tell you why. I first noticed her facade crumbling a few days ago, when she said the most evil word known to all of mankind. As we all know, this word is extremely offensive to a certain group of people. I am one of those people. My family is. My ancestors were. My ancestors have lived through the most horrible kind of agony because of people like her. They were tyrants, they were monsters. And for people like her, we will forever be reminded of the pain that we have gone through and still haven't recovered from. This is just tearing the wound open again and rubbing salt into it. But this was only the beginning of this nightmare. I have brought attention to this in the comments of one of her previous posts. I regret it deeply now. It was the night of the 28th of November 2024. I was sleeping in my bed, peacefully, until something, I didn't know what at the time, but something woke me up. I laid there in my bed, completely still, though it was getting more and more difficult. My fear told me not to make a sound, yet it also commanded me to look out of the window. The second instinctual urge eventually won. I got out of my sweat-drenched sheets and creeped over to the window on my tippy toes. Unfortunately, I live in a German-speaking country, which means we got something attached to our windows called Rouladen, or how I call it, Stora. They might block out our light, but they also make a loud sound and move. Upon opening them, I was immediately hit by the lights of 1,000 suns. The sun emits 36,000 trillion lumen. Times 1000, this number equals to this number. At least that's what Google told me. I screamed in pain as my eyes melted from my sockets, my liquidized orbs burning the cortex of my frontal lobe and flowing out of my nostrils like the worst nosebleed ever to be beheld by mankind. It was the burn of 24. My blood-curdling screams woke my parents and little sister from deep slumber, which is strange because my father left us for another woman when I was just 4 years old. My mother reached my room first. At least she would have, if that bright shining thing didn't break through the window next to the door and yeeted her up into the sky, where she probably turned to Icarus, got ripped apart atom by atom, and became one with the cognitor hazard of the heavens that we call the sun. A cosmic horror which is mostly within our understanding. I mean, come on, it's a main sequence star right inside of our yard. Or more likely, we are in its yard. Yeah, that sounds right. That bright thing turned out to be BloodyStar. I had never seen her before in my life, but the thing that stood before me was clearly a bloody star. If you are questioning how I could see her, I pulled out my pink diver goggles that either my father or grandmother bought me on a vacation to Italy back when I was like 9 years old. I splattered some black paint that had melted from the surface of my furniture all over the goggles. And now you are probably questioning why I need goggles to protect my eyes when my eyes have melted. Well, as we all know, it's actually our brain that processes images. If you try hard enough, you can see without eyes. How do you think that one certain individual without eyes navigates throughout the world? You know, the one with the fedora? Anyways, Back to her appearance. BloodyStar appears to be something like a wisp from the hit game called Voices of the Void. A very neat game if you ask me. I wish I could play it, but that dumbest old laptop can't even handle to boot up Sims 4 anymore. Blood dripped from her surface and burned through my expensive hardwood floor. All that only happened in a time span of like a second. My sister was her next victim. She was flung out of the door and through the mountain across the river of her neighboring village. Her body drilled its way entirely through the rocks. I have always wondered about what lies on the other side. Only the microscopic remains of my sister now know the truth. The impact caused the mountain to crumble right onto the village beneath. Over 3,000 casualties, no survivors. Then there was my father, but he just went back to sleep, since he doesn't care. BloodyStar proceeded to just laugh in my face as I was screaming, crying and punching the bloody floor. But the floor I didn't touch for long. She grabbed me with her gravitational pull and brought me into space, where she left me. I haven't seen her since. As my blood boiled and lungs collapsed, I remembered my boyfriend, Blorbso. Blorbso is an alien disguised as a plushie that always rested on my now burned bed. But on that night he was gone, since his faction and allies felt a disturbance in the force. So as I floated there, fighting for my life, I called upon him, and he answered. A wormhole opened up some kilometers beside me, and his captain's ship flew out, coming to a halt above my struggling, half-dead body. Then I was siphoned, yes, siphoned into the ship. But the damage was already done. My human body was unsalvageable. But ever since I realized the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me anyways. So I craved the strength and certainty of steel, which I have become now. I am a digital consciousness. I have reached immortality, and only thanks to you, BloodyStar. You haven't even realized it yet, but you are the bringer of your own demise. I can't wait to spaghettify you. Blood dripped from her surface and burned through my expensive heart. Working, not working, why not working? You fucking bitch.